The most important question I ever got was, what is your legacy? Not the material legacy, but if life stops here, how do you want to be remembered? What is that energy? How do people see you? Complaining? Uplifting? What is your frequency legacy? This podcast series is a result of that question. What is my legacy? A phoenix is burning itself on a funeral pyre, rising from the ashes with a renewed youth to live through another cycle. This fertile ash is filled with phoenix frequencies like compassion, love, forgiveness, intuition, wisdom, generosity, resilience, and creativity, and evolution and involution. I've been in the ashes. I want to give voice to the phoenix frequencies. On a weekly basis, I share my resources or interview another phoenix. I'm Nienke van Bezooijen and I welcome you if this resonates with you. And I invite you to the courage to rise. The phoenix frequencies, there we go. I'm Nienke van Bezooijen and I'm your host of this podcast series. I'm often called a phoenix because no matter how many times life threw curveballs at me, I always bounced back. By now I know bouncing back isn't a phoenix frequency. There's a difference in repetition and bouncing back, but if you don't rebirth yourself or transform like a butterfly, it isn't a phoenix frequency. It can even be stubborn. I've been very stubborn. Had to work on that until it was October 2021 when I completely burned down to the ashes. But apparently, although it felt like I had no life force inside me any longer, my soul wasn't ready and there was enough to do in this world. And I know there is enough what I want to share, where I can be a resource for people searching for the frequency that might uplift them, inspire, or even be like a lighthouse. Before October 2021, I was a strange kind of lighthouse. Do you know the quote, lighthouses don't run over the island to rescue boats? Well, I was a running lighthouse, but a real lighthouse stands still and sends a frequency, a light, so people can be guided in the direction where they want to go. So, what is a phoenix? That's the first thing I want to start with. There are so many historical, mythical descriptions of phoenixes in all kind of areas of the world. The ancient Greeks, for example, they associated with Helios, the sun and God. It's a large eagle-like bird with red, orange, and yellow feathers. And it is like a reborn from the ashes. And they believed it lived up to 500 years and could rebirth over and over again. And it represents immortality and strength, perseverance, so many things. In the more Asian parts, it's also the yin and the yang, where the yin, female frequencies, is the opposite and balanced with the yang. And it's seen there as a dragon. So you have the phoenix and the dragon. What I really love is to see where we can rise instead of rebouncing. I learned over the years there is so much where we can come from a perspective of love, from compassion. From this act, from compassion, you can see that there is a rebirth possible. And the rising of a new life It's a vulnerable thing. A phoenix isn't about strength. A phoenix is about the courage to do the whole thing over again. If I meet people now, they say, "Oh, you look so great, nothing has changed." And still inside, I feel completely changed, renewed. So I'm not a transformed butterfly, which you can't recognize from the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. But inside, I feel like that. When I decided to start these podcasts, it was because I want to feed the world with what's possible rather than the fear of burning down. And there is so much what you have to be with when you have all these curveballs, shame and blame. But I want to bring the Phoenix based curiosity. I want to be a Phoenix listener. When you feel that you're really burned down and all what's left of you is ash, there can be a feeling of shame, and the outside world can even blame for you to become ash. Or you can be admired in an unhealthy way for rising up again. I'm searching for these true frequencies, for true care, from compassion. What do you need to be free in your new life? You're free to be. What are goes and no goes in the Phoenix frequencies? How do you do that? Rebirthing and restarting to live again. Because you might face shame and blame. You might not be heard or seen. Sometimes there's a lot of trauma. Healthy boundaries. Finding these new few finders for your frequencies. It's a vulnerable place. And I'm not pretending with a toxic positivity that life is happy, clappy, pappy head if you are rebirth. No. The real thing is to reinvent a new way how you can live freely in a way that suits you as a phoenix. I'm really looking forward to cover many, many, many topics with you. And I've already a list with other phoenixes who want to be interviewed by me. So stay tuned and dare to live.